Liquor Talk, brand new episode starts now. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Liquor Talk podcast. I'm your man Victor, and we got a special today. For the first time ever, we got a guest from the outside of the United States. Our guest is coming to you from the United Kingdom. She's holding it down in London. It's Sandra, the Millennial Coach. How you doing today, Sandra? And welcome to Liquor Talk. And thank you for being the first ever international guest.
I feel very privileged. Hi, everyone. Hi, Vic. I'm your first guest. So, welcome to me. Welcome to the UK. And we look forward to having this conversation with you over the pond.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this conversation. We talked last week, and I could tell we were going to have a really good discussion. So, I know it's only 2 o'clock here in the U.S., and I know it's like 7 o'clock there. So, I appreciate you to had your whole day, and my day just really getting started.
I appreciate that. No, it's fine. You know what? It's I do projects with people in the States, and so I always say that I'm from the future, you're from the past, but hopefully you'll join me in the future at some point.
Hey, I'm trying to get to the I'm trying to get to that point of me joining you in the future. Yeah. So why don't you tell the people about your platform? You call yourself the Millennial Coach. Tell me about your radio show and what you're doing over there.
Right. So I am an executive coach, qualified, have an MBA, and I've been doing my podcast for about 2 years on and off, just because life happens. And it's really about coaching. So I have guests just like you, and these guys are professional coaches in what they do. So wealth management, it may be, how to survive the workplace, as we know, microaggressions or bullying and all that exists. I've had conversations on after George Floyd was murdered. We had conversations on race and the issues that we're seeing, in the UK. It's not something that what you guys go through, we go through the same, but I think we just don't have the same we don't have the same outcomes in terms of getting killed or shot like Breonna Taylor. That's not something that happens often in the UK. So these types of conversations are ones that I have. And every single week, every Thursday on Itch, www.itch.fm. That's where my radio show is with live music. So I play hip hop, R&B, Afro beats. Just depends on the day, what my mood's like, and also what the subject or the conversation's about. Itch FM is a hip hop station. It's been going for almost 20 years in the UK. And then I convert my shows into podcasts on all the podcast platforms, which include Apple, Deezer, Amazon, Google Podcasts, so the whole nine. So, and I'm the Millennial Coach.
Yes, yes. So what's something you like about being the Millennial Coach?
I just be myself. I think that's the most important thing in anything that I do, is just be me. Although people do say my voice makes them fall asleep when they listen to my show, and they don't mean it in a horrible way. They just mean that I've got a very soft tone. So I feel very grateful that I can actually go to bed with lots of different people.
Man, I can't believe somebody really gonna tell you that your voice puts them to sleep, man.
Not in a negative way. So I will take that as a single woman. I will take it as a positive. So I'm not gonna complain. But no, I
Okay.
think having the opportunity and the platform to have conversations that matter, that's what the most important thing for me as the millennial coach. Coaching is seen as a luxury to lots of people who can't afford it. My background's been broadcast. I've worked for Discovery, Disney, National Geographic. I now just do learning development, and I do coaching and leadership and management. So that's the stuff that I'm really into. And just working in the industry just gives you the opportunity to really see what's going wrong, what's going right, things that you can amend, things that you need to do differently. And I work with so many different people. The UK is just full of so many different races and cultures, especially London, that you really do get to have the breadth of culture from completely different perspectives.
Wow, that's amazing. So what's the downside of coaching? Because I know that's pretty. You've been ran into some people that you're like, I've tried everything with this person, they're just not getting it.
In terms of interviewing people or working with people?
Both interviewing people and working with people.
Working with people, I don't have time for people's BS. So I don't even give it energy. That's just the way I work. So if you're coming into my energy, my environment, and you're trying to make it difficult, I'm just gonna miss you. I'm just gonna miss all the mess that you're trying to offer and work with people that want to work. That's me. I think we need to be very mindful when we go to work or when we work with people, what energy they're giving and what energy we're prepared to put into that environment or that experience. So I try, if you're difficult, I just don't acknowledge you. I see past you. When it comes to the show, I've had people that have been difficult, and I'm a professional journalist by trade. So I have a degree in journalism. That's how I started with CNN in London. And you can't allow someone to rock your show. You got to make sure that you go above and beyond to make sure you stand firm in your belief and what you understand your skill set to be. So I can't let somebody affect me, but if I can see that it's going down the wrong path, I just try to put a lot of humor into the show. And
Yeah,
if I don't like the way they say things, I just miss what they say, don't respond to it and talk about something else, change the subject.
that's real. That's real. That's what you have to do constantly because I know when recording you'll have people that come on and they won't have their energy and also they will say crazy things and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna disregard that because if I give in to this, it's gonna ruin my flow. So I totally
Right.
feel you.
Right, exactly.
So, what do you think about British black men playing American roles? Because I was watching Snowfall the other day. I know the main
It,
actor,
Damon Idris or Damon Idris.
yeah,
Um, the thing is, right, the problem in the UK is that most of the TV shows are full of white people. That's the reality. We don't have a Tyler Perry in the UK, and if we do have a Tyler Perry in the UK, someone is trying to block his flow. Um, BET UK exists, but I don't even know if anyone even watches it. And so people go to the US because you guys provide us opportunities when we are supposed to be good at something. Now, I think I like Idris Elba. I met him. This is before he was super famous. We were in an office and I thought I knew him from somewhere. And I kept asking, I'm like this. I meet a lot of famous people and I keep thinking I know them from somewhere. But in my mind, I think that we used to hang out. But he hasn't got a great American accent. He's probably got the worst American accent for the history of TV. And, to me, this is just my opinion. I've worked in TV for so long. I just don't think he's the most amazing actor. But when he plays British characters, he's like doing Luther. I think he nails those British acts. But when he does American stuff, I just think it is lackluster. I do think Daniel Kaluuya he's pretty good. Um, if you have watched, obviously, Queen and Slim, he brings a lot of emotion to it, to the characters. Damon Idris, he's very. I don't know how you feel. I like him in Snowfall because he just has. He was so naive at the beginning of the seasons, and when he just became very gangster, he became gangster. And I just liked his flow. But he's young, so he's got the opportunity to really flourish in as an actor in the US and really take on the learnings and the craft in a way. And also, what's that with Michael K. Williams who passed? Something Country, Wild.
the I remember him from The Wire.
Yeah, but he was in something recently. I can't remember. It's with Janae Smollett, Michael K. Williams. Um, there's a woman in it, a dark skinned woman. She's British. She played an American actress. I thought really well, really. I can't remember. Wummi. She's fantastic. I think it depends also how much people are good at accents. I'm really poor at accents. My American accent is shocking. And Americans have told me not to pretend to be American.
Wow, your American accent is that bad?
Yeah, because I'm usually like, what it do, man? What up? What up? What up? What's going on? And they're like, Sandra, stop it. So
Hey,
I
don't listen. Don't feel bad. I don't have a good British accent. I have a horrible British accent, so don't feel bad. So, so our podcast is really popular over there in the UK because I know in the US podcasts are like on the rise and everybody has one. Is it like that over there?
yeah, it's like that over here. But the thing about the UK, again, it's a small island. It's an island. So that's the reason we have to, especially when you're black, I would definitely say you have to really reach out and um, go to the States, because there's a lot of characteristics as a black person when you're doing a podcast that people in the US, my podcasts are listened more in the US than in Europe.
Wow.
So, and the thing is, you guys are more open minded. You like self development. You appreciate when people come to you and say, you know what, you need to do this, or this can help you, blah, blah. And you take that information, use it. If it works, then you're like, that person knows what they're talking about. In the UK, there's a woman called Lisa Foley. Maria Foley. She came to the UK, tried to crack the market. She is doing exceptionally well in the US. She couldn't crack it. Said in the UK, you lot are just hard, and it's too much hard work. So yes, there's lots of podcasts, but in my opinion, like when I listen to it, I'm not really interested in who's sleeping with who or who's having anal sex when it comes to young. Like that's just nonsense to me. Do you know what I mean? Or when there's a group of girls, something about receipts, or I've got the receipts. I don't even. The thing is, if you're talking about stuff, when you talk about people, to me, you got a very small mind. If you're talking to me about let's build something, let's make money, let's do something that we can help, from a social enterprise perspective, that's growth to me. That's something that I can do and help other people. If I'm just talking about gossip, I'm just not that invested. And that's what sells in the UK, complete trash, in my opinion.
Wow. See, believe it or not, it sells. It sounds just like America because it's like people will have the more viral clips. People go crazy over the bullshit, but the realness they don't really feed into it. So I noticed that there is a similarity, but I don't know why people feed into bullshit all the time. But
You know what it is? I think there's a lot of people. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my friend. He used to be a DJ on one of the national stations in the UK. He's interviewed 50, Ja Rule, all these people. And I said to him, "Why don't you DJ anymore?" One of our, again, a DJ, a rapper in the UK, Ty. He passed away 2 years ago now from COVID, and he was a very close friend to Ted, and he said, I just don't want to do it anymore. But also, someone like Ty, amazing musician, fantastic conversationist in his rhymes. But then the kind of trash that people are buying or what's on radio in the UK is rubbish. Is rubbish. It's not hip hop that we know hip hop. You'll be playing stuff that is just like bubblegum hip hop that I just find offensive. Like, for me, I like Tupac, you're listening to Chuck D. You it could be Talib Kweli, it could be The Roots. I want to hear something of substance, I want to hear music that rocks my soul. And when we talk about why do people like the BS, do people really know who they are in order to be able to move past the BS? You
that's
feel me?
real.
Because if you think about it, right, we like someone like Jason Lee. I like Jason Lee. I didn't like him before because I used to watch him on Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I'm just like, why would you go up to someone and embarrass them on purpose and disgrace them, like make them feel bad, and then get out of character because you're provoking them? He's grown where he realizes that behavior hasn't got any value and it doesn't bring value to him. So you've got to go through a growth phase in life in order to understand what's going to bring value. You're going to find people sometimes will never get there. Some people will get there in their 40s. I've been like this from my teens. So my friends, when I was probably 18, 20, between 18 and 24, they were like 40 to 50 years old, because I preferred the conversation and I wanted to learn and grow. Now I feel like I'm struggling to meet people who want to further their mindset, because people are tired. People get to an age where they get tired of trying to find their tribe, trying to have conversations of substance. When you get to a certain age, people get tired because everyone's still about the BS. So for me, I'm on this is one of the quotes that I use. I know my value, so I'm happy to eat alone.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
No,
me?
I feel you on that, and that's like I've embraced that for myself because like one book that really changed my life is The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's like because I know who I am, I know what I have to offer, and I'm just not gonna give. I'm not gonna try to please you no more. And I know people. I don't know if people do this over there in the UK, but I know there are black people. They go hard to please others. I'm like, I see those people. They be going so hard to please somebody, but yet that person might not please them in return. So I don't know if y'all deal with that over there.
Yeah, but I think that's universal, and I'll tell you why. Because I used to live in the Middle East. I used to work for Showtime, right? So Showtime used to be out in Dubai, but before I was in Dubai, I was in a country called Bahrain, with the US military. So I want to thank them for their service. But I experience people who, when you spend time trying to please others, that's really from a place of low self-esteem. That's not from a place of esteem. Because if you have esteem or healthy self-esteem, you can talk and hang out with people with no expectation. When I buy people gifts, oh my god, I didn't buy you something back. And I'm just like, no, I bought it as a gesture of how I feel about you. That's just the kind of person I am. But what I've realized is, even though I'm doing it because I like someone or I saw something that they might like, I've realized I need to just spend time alone to actually have even more appreciation for who I am to myself. Because what I've realized, when you take away from yourself from the environments where people can take, they start realizing what they've lost. But also the question is, have they appreciated their presence?
Yeah,
I when I dissolve friendships, because I have no problem cutting people off. I think that is very healthy. When if you're not growing with me, you'll be dying. People have been very disappointed that our friendships have ended, and I will talk them through why the friendships ended. And but people will make the effort to try to reconnect with me, because they always say, you bring something, you always have something great to say. But I'm like, but what are you offering in return? Because what people have to remember, the exchange has to be a balance of energy.
yeah,
It can't be a one-dimensional experience. So when you're
yeah, yeah.
when you're engaging with somebody and they don't appreciate it, pull back. You don't have to get loud. You don't have to call them out. Just say, you know what? I don't need to expel this energy on somebody that doesn't appreciate it. I just need to focus on me, and let me reinvigorate myself with me in order to be my best self for myself. So it's like, if you're in a relationship, you're married, a lot of women, they say they lose themselves because they don't take care of themselves. They put on weight, they don't take care of their hair. You might go and have your nails done, you're not working out, you're not eating right, you're working, you look burnt out. If that person actually cared for you like you cared for them, you won't be in that situation.
Hello.
So it's very important, when you're in a relationship of any kind, whether it's platonic relationship, whatever, you better make sure that that person understands how much input you expect from them, and vice versa. We don't have these conversations enough in friendships, because I talk about friendships on my podcast. We don't, when we do the early guys, we don't say after 3 to 6 months, where's the relationship going? When we have a friendship, do we ask where this friendship is going? Because me personally, I'm not trying to be hanging out and clubbing with you for the next 10 years. I haven't got time for that. So I need to understand, where's this friendship? Where are we trying to head with this friendship?
Yes. I definitely agree with that. We definitely need to have these conversations, whether you in the US or the UK. It's like so many people, we don't have the conversations. And also, we wondering why people let us down because nobody done set their expectations. Now, if you set them expectations from the start, you ain't going to get let go. And you'll understand why you getting let go. You ain't going to have these conversations because you
Correct.
nice. You real nice to explain to these people. Me, I'll just cut you off in the middle of the night and keep going about my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't owe you
No, you
expectations.
know what? I do cut people off in the middle of the night, and I love that. But when people keep reaching back out to me,
I got
because
you.
you know what it is because they start to realize I never needed you to begin with.
Mm.
I'm happy to stay at home I go on holiday by myself. When I come to the US, I come by myself. I've spent 3 weeks in America, but the thing is, I know people in so many different states, and I make friends with people, so I'm never alone. I book
I,
I book concerts when I come out. I'll go and see Mary J. I listen to a lot of country, so I listen to Sugarland. I went to see them. You know, if a guy might find me attractive, let him take me out for a night. Let me go and have fun. Like I'm not, life is for living. We spend a lot of I think I'm a big thinker, so I think a lot strategically about why people are in my life. That's very important to me because I don't wouldn't cut my family off unless they're really toxic, which they're not, luckily. But you've got to do that audit.
yes.
But you also, Vic, you also got to do your self auditing. Like, what am I contributing while I'm attracting these kind of people? That's what people don't do.
Oh, hello. Hello.
So let's get into relationships on this because the
Yes.
attraction of relationships, toxicity doesn't come to you because the person's crazy. You are signaling something out there and attracting that energy. So when someone says, "Yeah, but he did," and he and me personally, I'm like, "But you're difficult as a person." A lot of women, right? I just think they're a nightmare.
Yes.
Approach things because you no offense to men, but you lot are simple. You want to eat, you want to have sex, and you want to go to work, and you want to protect. Shaq said it the best. He wants to provide and protect. I thought, why don't you marry me, Shaq?
Yeah, we have it so simple. We gotta provide and protect, but some people they be wanting more than that. They be wanting you to,
But
they be wanting what's in your wallet too. They want you to provide more on what's in your wallet too as
but you
well.
know what I say to girls like that? If you are asking for stuff, what you got to offer?
Hello.
You can't ask people for stuff if you've got zero to offer. Zero. You got no. You can't even give your man good advice. So to me, when it comes to relationships, you women have got to be in my this again, everything's based on how I feel about relationships. I don't feel that, and this is not all women, obviously, and it's not all men. In the UK, guys in their 40s, a lot of them are single. And one guy said to me, "Do not think that these people are happy." I said, "Yeah, but they date girls that they've got too much air between their ears, right?"
Mm.
And then they come across someone like me, and then they'll be like, "Wow, you're so interesting. You've done so much with your life." But I just sit there and I listen to them. And then when guys go on dates with me, what I get is, "You're very busy," and I'm thinking, "Well, you're not busy enough."
Mm.
I've had men say to me they don't think they're enough for me, and that's when I look at people and I'm like, "Okay, what is it I'm doing to attract these kind of people?" Because I can't put the blame all on them. I also have to look at when I'm attracting people, what is it that I'm feeling from the inside out, not from the outside in. So
Mm.
if you are not in a good place in yourself, you might have money problems. You might like I'm a hustler. I'm always looking for the next project. So if my projects are dying and the money's not coming in, I'm stressed. So if I'm attracting people when I'm stressed, I'm not attracting the right kind of people. You need to attract people when you are on top of your game mentally.
Yes.
That's when you attract your best.
Mhm.
So
Yes. You.
if people are asking dating people and they're wanting money, then you need to think about what is it that you're projecting why this person's coming to you. Because me personally, trust me, I've dated men who are very wealthy and I've dated some men who haven't got a lot. But from both of them, I don't need anything financially. I'm looking for love, genuine human connection. That's what I'm looking for.
That's real. So I've realized that I'm realizing that a lot of men are just bold and just say that, hey, I'm not enough for you over there in the UK. Well, in the US, I know a lot of men, they will fake it till they make it, meaning they will go ahead and put up the front like they have it, like we have it and we good and stuff. But come down the line, you realize you ain't got it. So, and then the woman is looking like, oh, this broke man, he ain't this, he ain't that. I'm like, you calling him broke, but he probably showed you signs that he a broke, you know? You just didn't pay attention.
Right. I was going to say, you're not asking the right questions. People don't, me, when I meet a guy, I ask them, listen, if tomorrow I got pregnant and we need to live off $100,000 a year, have you got me? And when he's
Mm.
looking sideways, he doesn't know what to do with himself. There's nothing I can do to support or help him because I am not looking for somebody who is now trying to figure out his life in his 40s. Me personally, as I said, I want my man like a McDonald's drive-through. When I make my order at the top of at the drive-through, I get to the end, my meal is ready. That's how I want my man. I want my man ready, ready. You get me?
Yes,
So,
yes,
and the thing is, you got to put everything on the table from the gate. Don't be halfway a year later. Now you're setting expectations. The person's done doing what they're doing.
yes,
But I
that's
find
so
that
true.
I find men in the UK, British-born black men, a lot of them have missed the direction. A lot of them are very spiritually disconnected. And to me, as a man, a black man, your spiritual connection is probably your first and foremost point of contact of self. In order for
Hmm.
you to stand strong, you need to have faith in yourself and in God. Whether or not you're Jewish, you're Hindi, you're Sikh, I don't care what religion. If you don't have a connection to the man upstairs, then you have a problem with how you connect with people. And that's
Yes,
why you are in and out of relationships, or this, or you can't make money because you don't even know who you are. You don't even know
yes,
who you are, and you're inconsistent. For me, I'm a consistent person, and I've dated American men before. And American men, the ones I've dated, I can't speak for all because obviously you lot are the creator of cheaters. So there's a problem somewhere in America. But
yes,
the men I've dated, they show up. When I phone you, come and get the shopping, you come and get the shopping. If I have to tell you about like I don't like something, we don't see the repeat. I've not seen a repeat of that behavior. So my experience with Black American men has been positive, and the way I've been loved by them, I haven't had that experience with black men in the UK. Black men in
so
America, you treat to me when you've got your shit together, you treat your woman properly. You treat her as your number one.
that's true. But my question is, why haven't you married an American man if you love him so much? If what's the
You know
downside to
what?
the American black American man?
You know something. Why haven't I married? Because I wasn't in love.
Mm,
And that's important to me. As I said, you can have money. That's fabulous. That's all great. But if I'm not in love with you, I'm not trying to hustle your pocket. I don't that's not my flow, you know. And also when it comes to there's things that I'm looking for with certain men and they give me I would say 60%, but I need at least 90% before I can say yes to anything. Because I will give you 1,000%. I will give you everything I've got. So I'll be like Carl Lewis running the Olympics. I will run for my life. I'll be the Usain Bolt of the relationship. But I want someone who is, because I find with men as well, you lot have stuff going on in the background, and if you haven't cleaned that up, I always sense something's not right. And if my heart is telling me this is cool for now, but long term you need to be mindful. I listen to my gut.
Yeah.
But I'm always in the States, and when COVID and all this nonsense, we don't have to have injections and all that. I'll be coming back and I'll be looking for my king. Not, I am not going to any cold state. So although I love New York and I like the I love the brashness of New Yorkers, I've seen how cold it is there, and I don't think I'll survive. I'll come back in a body bag. So I'll be going to the West Coast if I move to the States or come and hang out because I need heat. But relationships and men here, in my, as I say, experience, there's not a lot of confidence. Um, and they're scared of women that actually have an opinion and are strong, you know.
Hmm.
And when you do meet a really nice guy, usually they're married. So that's the frustrating bit because you know he's good.
Yeah, of course he's married, but there are some. I will say there are some married men that they good, but they'll try to hang out with you even though they're married. I've noticed that a lot here too. So it's like they
Yeah,
don't really care.
same here. I remember I went to a party. There was a really nice guy because I train, and I could see he's been training, and we just when I go to nightclubs, I start talking to guys, and we just end up having so much fun, like laughing, catching joke, just taking, we say taking the piss out of someone. So that's like, I don't know how you call what you would say in America, but it's like when you're laughing at someone, and then he was really nice. I asked him, "Are you married?" And he hesitated, but he told me the truth, and I appreciated that. Me, but I did just block his number because I could see if I continue talking to him, it's going to be a problem.
Mm. See, you a real one because I say American women they don't care. They'll still talk to them. Some will still talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you got some over there over across the pond that'll still talk to them as
Of
well if they're
course.
married.
You know what? A lot of females that I know, they say they've got friends, women that have fallen in love with married men, and what frustrates me is a lot of the women, they're accomplished, they're smart, but I just think these men work on the vulnerabilities of these women, and it's
Mm.
unfortunate that these women haven't got the strength to cut this off or to just cut that emotional cord because listen, love is is a very tricky conversation because you can fall in love with someone who's married. I've had guys tell me they've loved me before they got married. Even now they're married, they'll still tell me, Sandra, I love you. Like, and I just tell them, listen, I see you as a friend, and that's it. So if you're loving me, you better love me from a platonic place, you know. Because at the end
Hmm.
of the day, if I was married to you, it will hurt me to know that you're saying that to another woman. It will bother me. So
Wow,
I
that's
always put
real.
myself. Yeah, but you got to put yourself in the position of the woman that you chose to marry her. You chose her. So you have to ask her, right? So you're not asking me. So why am I not investing time into you? This is what women need to think about. If you are not the final choice, stop the investment.
Hmm.
You're not the
Yeah,
final
stay out.
choice. Yeah, stay out of it
Yeah,
because you can't expect someone to give you something that they actually haven't got.
that's so true. That's so true. You cannot expect on both ends and stuff. So what's the deal on British women over there in UK? Because I know American women, they got issues too. What's the issues on them? Like, are they down to earth? What's the problems you run into when you gotta talk to them about why they can't find a man? What's their problem?
You know what? I know a lot of women, you get to like 38 and you just can't be bothered. That's the reality. because you go on, because someone said you've been dating, because last year I was dating a lot. Someone said you've been on so many dates and you haven't found anyone. I'm like, I'm a rare catch. So if the guy's gonna like what I'm seeing on these dating apps, I wouldn't even talk to you if you're in the supermarket. So you need to understand that I'm not going to compromise just because I'm on a date. I'm the
Yeah, you
prize.
shouldn't.
And so, and I know what I offer. I've had exes, I've had 3 people offer me marriage, and I've said no because I just thought the girl, when I was giving you everything I had, you weren't giving me what I needed. So now I should, the person that I've grown into, you're not going to be able to manage her. You thought you could manage me before, you're going to struggle now. And I think a lot of women, they're fed up and they're tired, and a lot of women are thinking of having babies on their own, um, because it's just the inconsistency. Like you go on a date, somebody can't be really bothered to message you. When you say to them, like I've said to people, feel free, like let me know when you're free so we can go out for drinks. You know, then they will just keep looking at your WhatsApp status if you post something. And I'm just like, delete my details, because to me, if you're interested, you'll make the effort. If you're not, just remove me from your phone. Like it ain't that big a deal. But I think women in the UK, when it comes to issues, I don't know, to be honest, because everybody, the women that I talk to, they've got everything that they need. And I just think that to some men, it's intimidating. It's not that they like I take care of my family, like my parents. Like if they need anything, I'm there. My brother, if he needs help with his kids, I'm there. So for me, my family means everything to me. And if I have my own family, they will mean everything to me. But it's just being real doesn't always seem to work out here.
Yeah, honestly, that's a global thing because it's like I deal with that in America. It's like it's like the ones that are toxic and not real. Them the ones that win. It's like it don't make sense whether you're in the U.S. or the U.K. It's like, but
Mm.
being real is just is taken for granted as well. People will find that they find that and they'll take it for granted. And some people they don't do one thing. They don't heal. Instead of taking time to heal, they'll turn into a toxic person. And I'm like, wow. So do y'all have time to heal over there as well, or is that just American thing to just take time to heal? Because I've
Oh,
dealt
I
with people
think
that were like, I'm just gonna take
Vic,
time for me to heal.
Vic, I think black people need healing everywhere. Look at what's going on in the Ukraine. Black people are not even given access or entry into the refugee camps or on the trains, right? That's
I
trauma
saw that.
in it.
I got pissed off when I saw that. I'm like, y'all want to say Americans over here want to say prayers up for Ukraine. I'm like, do y'all see how they treat black people? They got a whole country trying to bomb their ass, but now we got time to be racist. And also, the American government set aside $2 or $3 billion to help. I'm like, we can use that money here. What the hell y'all doing? I can't make
Sorry.
this shit up.
Oh my god. Um, I I just think we have a lot of healing to do. We do, um, but we need to also be honest with ourselves, and we are not. For
Mm,
example, if you a hoe, right, you
yeah.
need to acknowledge and admit you a hoe, and then from there you can make changes. But what happens is we're like, no, but I'm just seeing what he's like. You know, I want to just go on. You know, I don't mind sleeping with them, not one, them. So what I say to women is, you have to remember something. This is a spiritual thing. A man enters into you, so he's entering energy and spirit into your soul. Yeah, and then
Hmm.
he takes parts of you when he leaves you. You need to think about, if you are sleeping with multiple people, how many energies are living inside you right now, and how much depletion do you have from your own spirit?
Hmm.
So when we don't even take that into consideration, when do you start healing? What do you start
Yes.
healing? Because you got half of you is missing anyway, because you've given it away and you've not called your spirit back. So a lot of people have entered and left energy inside you. And so we think about mental illness. Why do you think that happens? Because you are dealing with things that are not your own. So
And
when we talk,
also, yeah, go ahead. And also, you're dealing with that, and then trying to deal with somebody decent, and you meet somebody decent, and you treat them like shit, and they're like, "Fuck."
that's the thing, is being on. This is why I say, if we're not honest with ourselves, we're in trouble, man. We are in trouble, you know. And if you can talk about your scars, don't be scared, because a real man will want to kiss your scars until they're healed. But be real, be real. And a woman the same. Me, I don't have a problem with somebody going through stuff, but if you're willing to heal, I'm willing to take the journey with you.
That's real. Now you a real one because a lot of women I've heard here saying, "Oh, you need to come to me healed. I'm not no therapist and stuff." I'm like, but what if you need to lean on him? What do
No,
you?
because you know what, it depends. To me, it also depends on the man. So let me give you a scenario. So there was a guy, I thought he was decent. He had two kids, two baby mothers, and I was like, okay. And he came here as an immigrant to the UK. He was from the Ivory Coast, and so I asked him about his pension. Like, where's your money? Like, what you do with your money? But what worried me, he's telling me he wants to get a whole range of a pair of New Balance trainers, but you got no savings. So one day I sat him in his kitchen and I said to him, "You need to think about your life." He goes, "I got life insurance." I said, "Listen, if I marry you tomorrow and you die, I have no problem taking all that money and forgetting about your children. If you haven't got a will, how can you justify your life insurance? It doesn't even make sense." So you're
Yes.
not, you haven't got at almost 50 years old, you ain't got no money in the bank, right? You got two children, and you're trying to encourage me to date you. You're not a match for me. But you drive a Jaguar and you always have the latest clothes. That doesn't interest me. It does not
Yes.
interest me.
Yes. That's real, and I feel like a lot of people need to hear the realness of that. The material things shouldn't attract somebody because I don't know if you watch this guy that called Kevin Samuels because it's like there's a lot of women that go on his show like, why can I meet a woman? Why can I meet a man? I got this, I got that. But you don't look at the bullshit you got. It's like not every man want to deal with a woman who got multiple kids and stuff, but want to be, oh, I'm celibate, I'm this, I'm that, you know.
But you know what? I don't want to deal with a man with multiple kids. Like, if you got too many kids, I just think I ain't got the energy. That's me personally. I don't want no children running up in my house, or you're saying to me then I have to come and live with. I'm like, no, they don't have to come and live anywhere, because that's not what I'm planning my future for. It's just that simple. I shouldn't have to feel bad about it, you know. And the thing is, when I meet men, I never talk about my education or ever tell them about what I've done with my life, because you know what? That's not important. If they ask, I'll tell them. And when you're talking about Kevin Samuels, a lot of the women, I can't listen to it anymore because I think they're so stupid. The people that call up, that's why he's entertaining, because he is attracting the dumbest callers I have ever heard. Why are you going on live radio, whatever his show, and then you're saying dumb stuff, and then you people are angry with his response? They deserve what they get.
Thank
He's
you. Thank,
he
thank
is
you.
right in a lot of the stuff that he's saying, because a lot of the women, they haven't even got, as I said, there's too much air between their ears. Kevin
Mm,
Samuels, to me, I'm not gonna go on his show and embarrass myself. Because at the end of the day, if I know I need to do work on myself, I have to identify that or go to a therapist. I'm not going to go and embarrass myself on his show. Because when he breaks them down, they get upset.
mm. So,
And they
now
have
another
an
question about
attitude with
women
him.
over
And I'm
there.
just,
Yeah, and I say the same thing. Can they handle being broken down like that? Because American women, you tell them something that it hits the nerve, they get mad and start wanting to pass off on you because they know you're telling the truth.
You know what? You know what? I'm from a coaching perspective. That's how I break people. How Kevin is how I break people down, and that's why I don't have a problem with him. Because when you're talking, but the thing is, men are insensitive in how they deliver information. That my brother's like Kevin Samuels, right? So when he's saying things, he can be very harsh, but he's telling the truth. So to me, you can break people down, but if you understand their how they may react, you can tailor it where it will land and they can
Mm,
receive it. So I break people down, but I will never do it the way Kevin Samuels does it because I need it to land. I don't need them to just get angry. I need them to actually feel it, hear it, and receive it.
yes, that's
So
real.
it depends on your delivery because there's people that I know people when you're trying to talk to them about something sensitive, they come at you. These are women, and I think to myself, I'm not gonna talk to you about certain things because you don't know how to speak when someone's feeling vulnerable. And what you might do, this is the thing that I always say to people when you're reaching out to a coach or a therapist, that person you're giving them your life. So how that conversation ends may end that person's life. So when people are delivering information, they have to think about how they deliver it. That's important.
Yes, that's real. That's real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. I hope y'all are enjoying this international episode, y'all, because this has been a very enlightening conversation. Because I'm learning, I'm like, they have some differences between, there's some similarities between the U.S. and the U.K. So, what is your biggest advice to people who, once all this COVID mess is done, Black Americans want to go to England? Because I talk to a lot of them say, hey, man, I want to go see what England is. I want to go check out England. What's your advice to them?
Just come to London first because a lot of other places there is racism in the UK. So I would say come to London first to get the experience of London. Um, and I would definitely say to you, if you want to come to London, come in the summer because it's miserable. People in the UK, when it's raining, they're miserable, and that's the reality. We don't want to go out. It's cold. We want to stay in. So just come in the summer months because there's lots happening, and it's a lot of fun. Like everyone makes the effort, dresses up. It's nice. So if you want to come to London, if you come to the UK, come to London first. You can get a direct train to Paris. You can get direct trains all over the country. But I would say come to London first because then you'll feel more comfortable because you've seen a lot of black people, and then you can go to other places where there's probably not too many. But you
Wait,
go to different cities.
so what part of England are there like no black people where the black people just need to avoid? Because I be seeing sometimes on the Premier League, I'm like, what if that part of England's cool? I don't know.
The thing is, right, black people are spreading out much more now, but it's like if you look anywhere out of London, you're gonna see a drop in blacks. That's it. That's what you need to understand. Manchester's a big city. There's a lot of black people. Birmingham is a big city. There's a huge black community there. So if you're going to go to different cities, it needs to be ones like Manchester and Birmingham, and London. And then everywhere else, you'll see black people like Leeds as well. You'll see black people, but it may be in lesser numbers, and they will be in particular areas of that city, of those cities.
Mm.
So yeah,
And what about
so
Liverpool? Because I know
one and
that.
all.
What about Liverpool? Because
Liverpool.
I know that's
That's how they talk. Liverpool.
yeah.
It's an interesting town. It's an interesting city. There's a mix of people. I would because I travel. My job takes me all over the country, so I go to Liverpool. I go to Manchester. I go. Um, yeah, Liverpool's cool, but again, you just need to make sure that you know where the places that you feel safe. And I always say, stay in places that is in the city. Don't stay in places that someone stay somewhere where we won't find your body. Just stay somewhere where we know where you are, and there's connects, there's hospitals, there's everything is close to you.
That's real. That's real. So what's a food in England that Americans need to try?
Fish and chips, of course.
Yes, the fish and chips.
You know what, right? You know, there's I know, well, a friend of mine, when he comes to the UK, because he tours with a high profile American DJ, and around the UK. So he's his content producer. So when he comes, I take him for fish and chips, but I take him to somewhere where they make it fresh and put it on your plate and you can eat in there. And he's like, it's so nice. I'm like, yeah, but I'm very particular. But the thing about London, there's so many things to eat. Like you can have crepes. Like they're just like, we even have Aunt Annie's here. You know, we don't have Chili's, we have Chipotle, we've got Five Guys, obviously McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, all the junk food that you can think of. But if you go like to Chinatown, to central London, there's loads of really fresh foods, and so honestly, there's so much to eat. It's just a traditional food. Fish and chips is there. Um, and if you like places that are busy, like fresh food markets, borough market, Spitalfields market, there's so many great places to go. Nightlife, I think, is trash in London,
Wait, the
because there's
nightlife is
no,
trash in London?
yeah, because it's like there's not really clubs where loads of black people go anymore. It's
So
very
where do all the black
diluted.
people
So,
hang out?
well, there's loads of places to hang out, but I wouldn't say there's places where you think, oh my God, we're going there this weekend, because that's just not the case. It's just not the
Damn.
case. Back in the day, Asians and white people wouldn't even come to our events, and it was off the charts. Rampage, the groups of guys that play music, DJs, they were outstanding. Like you have like sounds, we call them sounds. So it's just groups of men who have a sound, so they've got a name and whatever. And when they, you'd have two or three people on one bill, it will be brilliant. But you really got to know people who like to party, and you know people who know people. So I have my connects. So I know if I want to go somewhere and I know that I want it to be mainly black people, I've got my connects to go to those events. So I have a boat party on April 15th. So I'm ready, got my outfit for that.
She already ready. So what's the food in America you love you can get here but you can't get in England?
Wonder 8 bread. That stuff is like crack. It doesn't go off.
Wait, what? You
Wonder
said
8.
bread.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The Wonder 8 bread. Wonder 8. Yeah, Wonder 8.
Yeah.
I've never had, I don't know what that's made from, but it's soft for weeks. In the UK, bread stays soft for about 4 or 5 days because it's so fresh. I don't know what preservatives or adjectives you don't put. Yeah, I don't know what you don't put in it, but that Wonder 8 bread is something different. Um, the thing is, I think it's the portion sizes that we don't. When I was hanging out with the US military, like when we went to the supermarket, like chicken wings are the size of my head. Your food is big. Like it's big. Your drinks are like, I can't even fit my hands on the screen. Like they're about so big. Like it's too much. I can't eat a lot of the foods in America. Like we don't have like a lot of your burger chains. Um, Shake Shack, we have Shake Shack has only recently come to the UK. What don't we have? I like chilies. I like chilies personally. We had it in the Middle East, so we don't have it here because of the US military.
Mhm.
But we don't have it here, and we've just got Popeyes. Literally, this last year it opened.
Oh, y'all just got a pop. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, now
We
I'm
don't
thinking
have
all
Chick
these
Fil
years.
A.
Oh man, no Chick-fil-A. Damn. I mean, they got something similar to Chick-fil-A.
Just probably KFC. But the thing is, because I don't eat a lot of junk food, I try, like, I like ice cream. So I found Baskin and Robbins in the Middle East, and I just thought this stuff is phenomenal. And so we only have Baskin Robbins dotted around the country. It's not a common place to go and get ice cream. So that's the downfall of the UK.
Wow, that's real. That's real. But honestly, I feel like if you going to if you're an American going to UK trying American food there, you're wasting your time. The goal is you're supposed to try the food in the UK, not the things you can get in America. You know.
But my American people, when they come, they say that there's not enough salt in the food, in the fast food. So even even if you lot have fast food here, you don't like it because it's not salty enough.
I mean, y'all trying to be healthy and stuff, you know. So it's like I get why there's probably not a lot of salt in it. America just don't care.
No, I don't listen, man. One thing for me, like after this call, I've got sea bass. I'm gonna grill some sea bass, some bok joy, and I'm just gonna have some plain rice. That's it. That's my dinner, because I just like simple food. And I like it cooked, home cooked. So even when I went out today, I went out after the gym. I was working in a cafe, and I had some poached eggs, some steamed spinach, and some sourdough bread. That's me.
That's so simple, you know. That's effective, but it's so simple.
Yeah, you just got to stock up on your protein, but just make sure you get your greens in, and you're good to go.
That's real. That's real. And it's probably like where I'm probably gonna go out for lunch. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind what I'm gonna get for lunch here, but you know because it is the time difference. But when we're recording this, but you know. So what you got planned for the radio show for the remainder of 2022?
Oh my god! Every week I have to listen. I do my show week by week because I've got some health issues. I suffer from something called endometriosis. So my goal this year is to really get healthy, really eat as clean as I can, and really focus on helping people develop. I want to do so. I want to start getting people to call in. So that's one of the developments. Having live conversations with people. I'm in the process of finishing my book. It's called Rise Above Race. So I want to have that published by the end of the year, and talk about chapters, and also do some book reviews and some more international shows. But I also want to tap into the LGBTQ community from the Black perspective. I really think that's quite an important aspect because LGBTQ, what I find interesting after watching Pose, is Black people, no matter what environment they're in, they're always ousted. So even if you're gay, you're not gay like that, like white people. So you're treated differently. And so I really want to understand the community a little bit more and understand their struggles and stuff like that. So every day is a new day, and I try not to, I think my life has been, I've always made plans and God's laughed at all my plans, and some of them haven't come to fruition. So I'm at a stage in my life where I'm just riding with spirit and just taking every day as it comes.
That's real. That's real. So the last question for you is: why do people in the states need to tap in with the radio show? Why do people need to subscribe and tune
You don't
in?
need to just you need to live by my words without question. Don't question me ever. No, I'm joking. But why you need to tap into the show, because if you tap into the radio show, it's the Millennial Coach, DA Millennial Coach, and the show's called The Core, and it's got great music, great conversation, but it's also there to educate people. So think of Mel Robbins, Ayanna Van Zandt, Oprah, and then Brené Brown all mixed into my show. All those four women mixed into my show, because I got to keep it real, like Ayanna. Um, you got to cuss people out a little bit like Mel Robbins. You got to be very, in tune with how people react to things like Oprah. And then you got to really do I do a lot of research. I don't come to my show without researched topics, and there's figures and statistics. It's all created by me and produced. But it's gonna grow. I want to move it. I really would like to be on the Black Effect podcast. I'm putting it out there into the universe. Black Effect podcast with Charlemagne. And if I can get my book published by Black Privilege Publishing with Charlemagne, that would be amazing. Because I talk about, like microaggressions. There's a black man called Chet Pierce, who was a Harvard psychiatrist. He's the one that formed microaggressions. But when people talk about it, they've got a Chinese person or a white person. Talk about the man that created and formulated why microaggressions exist. People need to give people their flowers, not when they're dead, but when they're alive. And that's what I do. I do Black History every single month, 52 weeks a year.
Yes,
So choose.
yes, yes. That is real. That's real. And lastly, what's a message you got for the women out there? Because this is International Women's Month. So, what's your message to Black women out there, wherever they're listening, whether they're listening in America or they're listening in the UK, wherever they're listening at? What's your message for Black women?
Is love yourself regardless if the world doesn't. Love yourself, love
Yes,
every inch of you, and don't ever apologize for being who you are. You
that's
know, we
real.
we
That's real.
we're beautiful, we're spiritual, we're kind, we're so many things that we don't acknowledge. But stand in who you are, stand in your truth.
That's real. That's real. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being my first guest outside of the United States. I want to thank you. I really appreciate you. Whenever you're ready to have me on, just know I might be in Florida where it's warm, where we're wearing shirts in March, where it's warm. But if you need me to come on your radio show in England, I'm just one DM away. I'm one message away. I'm ready to go.
Don't you worry, we will schedule something for sure. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, we will. And also, I want to thank you, the listeners, for everybody out there. So, how can the people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me on Instagram, so at da.millennial.coach. Twitter is at the DA Millennial C, and on Facebook at the Millennial Coach. And my Gmail's at the Millennial Coach at gmail.com.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, she might be in England, but she'll holler at y'all as well. So, tap in with her and continue to tap in with Liquor Talk, whether they're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or watching this on YouTube. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for love, more shit popping, little shit stopping. We taking up for the 22 and the 23. Keep pouring up, and we'll see you next time.